Anyways, second video with my haircut and going with the beard a little. It's got to get lighter a little bit, but that's okay. I decided to combine, what is this, the 24th, 25th day subbing with, or just combine them together because they were both choir. It's pretty nice. Teaching some music, some triads, some note names, some treble clef, pitch accuracy, some diction. I was told that probably shouldn't do diction with middle schoolers. I beg to differ. However, I see where they're getting at. Obviously, they need to speak clearer, but in the way of changing your mouth shape and all that stuff to make it sound cohesive and the same, obviously not for middle schoolers. Maybe 8th graders, but I did it for like 6 and 7. So oops, that was the first day. But I rehearsed some of their music. They were surprised because the sub was rehearsing their music. I had no idea how to play the piano. Choir people, they have something. They have some kind of chemical in their body that's giving them superhuman piano playing. Especially high school choir teachers, or directors, or even assistants. They're magical. I'm not. I can play warm-ups and one line. I cannot play 2 lines, and that's about it. So if I was to ever get a choir job, I definitely need to work on my piano skills. But the first day was fine, and I had those kids twice. So it was nice to have the same kids multiple times and to kind of be there and then being like, oh, you're this person again. We kind of know how you work. Let's push your buttons a little bit, or let's follow more of what he was doing yesterday. Oh. Have to get them some hay. But basically, some things I learned. Man, I forget how to rehearse. How do you rehearse? How do you rehearse music? I don't know. I think as a music teacher and a sub, even if it's difficult, you've got to put in some practicing. Even if, watching people rehearse and watching what they hit, where they're at, how they hit it, and how they bring it together with the music or the recording or anything like that. How they do all those things, and then the roadmap kind of the day, and then the roadmap of how it looks like throughout the week, and then the month, and something like, if you can get that information. But all that observing that we did in undergrad, I feel like is not as prevalent, or is only as prevalent as what you're doing currently. But later, after you've observed it maybe 2 months ago, you got to keep observing or understanding what other people are doing in other districts and their types of rehearsing and stuff like that. There's not one big way. But us musicians have so much information in here. So much that it's hard to figure a way to cohesively deliver that in a way that's good for 6th graders, in a way that's good for 7th graders, in a way that's good for 8th graders. I feel like you can kind of, depending on where they're at in 7th grade, you can lump them with 6th or maybe with 8th. But again, rehearsing, I think figuring out how you practice on your instrument, for me, clarinet, or I guess clarinet, because I don't own a tuba, but however you rehearse, say, I'm going to go slow, maybe when you first start, or I'm going to run it all the way through and see how that works. Let's work on, if I was an instrumentalist, I would work on what's the key, what notes should I watch out for. After that, maybe what rhythms should I watch out for, or those coincide. What rhythms I should watch out for, and then maybe hit, especially in a rehearsal, who's playing what? What's the important part? who is playing with me, what groups are playing together, and what does it sound like together, maybe this part, breaking it down to parts, and then rhythm, pitches, blah blah blah, going through that, then chunk it from the beginning, go from the beginning. Solos, just play a solis, and then when it comes to choir, pull out one part. This is what your part sounds like. Sing with this. Da, 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 da. Okay, with at tempo. Da, 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 da. Okay, great. It's awesome. Bring it in. This people. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. We're getting the bones of it. Let's move on to all together with the recording. Da, 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 da. Great. Let's keep moving on. I kind of heard some things over here. There's a bass come over here and stuff like that. And that took what? 3 minutes, and that was me without even, without actual people. With actual people, it would go probably take half hour on that stuff. Seriously. Starting off slow, especially with something new, just how you rehearse or practice. It's probably a good way to start, to get your chops back, to remember, and it'll come back. I mean, you gotta be realistic. You're not going to come back the best ever teacher, you've subbed for all these times. A lot of subbing is not, there's a lot that coincides and there's a lot that doesn't, especially when it comes to rehearsing. That kind of stuff, plan it out, go through your head. Play your instrument. Observe other people rehearsing, and by observe, I mean you can even look up a video of people rehearsing it. Maybe that'll help too in your rehearsing strategies. And make it fun. Boom. Practice, watch rehearsals, make it fun. It's probably a start. And then after that, you'll figure out a way to get through to your next concert. That's how I feel. And me saying this, that just means those days were kind of bad. Not gonna lie. But don't let that deteriorate you. You'll probably have some bad rehearsals. Probably the first one. And then somewhere in the middle where you get absolutely nothing done. You put in the time later, and you respect their time, your students' times. Put in the best work you can. Positive energy, fun stuff. And hopefully they'll kind of gain that. And then getting them to practice is a whole other thing. I'm just talking about starting rehearsing, getting your chops back. I think that's where I'm going to end it. Because I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. And I should figure that out. And I'm really hungry. And I want some rice. Rice. This is the second episode of my low, small hair saga. Tune in next time for the third episode of where is all the hair going on Mr. Vai's head. It's probably crawling down into his chin. We shall see. Okay. Bye-bye.